What's up, everybody? We are Jamie, Sumblin, Corey, Ham, and you are listening to the Much About Nothing podcast where we talk ball, sports, and anything and everything else. Today, we are covering the NFL matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. If you got something to say, put it in the comments. If you're new to the pod, welcome to the Man Cave. Hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. If you're already part of the fam, welcome back. Please like, share, and comment, and don't forget to hit that bell. Hey, Corey, let's get into it.
Yeah. What's happening, y'all? Great and wonderful day to dive into some football. I'm certainly ready to dive into these two experienced and equally good teams. Yeah, they have some strong offenses and likewise some strong defenses, and they are ready to bring the pain. I'm ready to watch these games and more ready to dive into these teams and what make them as good as they are. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. So, the first thing we're going to do today is we are going to break down the actual matchups. And what I mean by breaking down the matchups is let's talk about the Kansas City offense, Kansas City defense, Philadelphia offense, and the Philadelphia defense. We've been given a homework assignment so that you don't have to do it. And we decided to break down one section of football for you guys, and we're going to talk about it. First up, we're going to Sumler. Sumler, let's talk about what your assignment was, brother.
I had Kansas City's offense.
All right, let's talk about Kansas City offense, man.
They just good. There's no other way to say it. I mean, they just good, man. You look at Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid together. I think it's a combination. As also Eric Bieniemy. They make magic on that field, man. I think to start off, I think they shocked everybody by being as lethal as they still were by losing Tyreek Hill. And they also show you that they can pick and choose who goes off. I mean, you consistently have Travis Kelsey, but MVS, Marquez Valdez Scantling, for those who don't know the initials, had the game of his life last night. Uh, that's a bad sign for the Eagles. When you got a guy like MVS building up confidence going into a game as big as the Super Bowl, that tells you that they believe in it. He believes in his quarterback. He believes in his system. They also are creating opportunities for him to get the ball, as well as he's making the plays when he needs to make the plays. Um, I think Kansas City offense has been ranked in the top five total offenses in the NFL over the last 3 to 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And they've been this is what third Super Bowl trip or second Super Bowl trip from home.
Third.
Third Super Bowl trip. So I mean, you're talking about a team that's going in with a lot of experience in key positions. Travis Kelsey, of course, Pat Mahomes, going up against a Philadelphia defense that is extremely stout. Um, and you can't really tell any weaknesses to the eye or on paper with that Philly defense. I think that is going to come down to experience. Um, Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes, right? I mean, there's nothing that we can say, nothing that we really can critique about the guy, maybe except his voice and his family members. But other than that, I think Kansas City is going to come out firing all cylinders as they usually do. It might start off slow, but I don't think they can afford to start off slow against the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
Mm.
Okay.
My
So,
thing is, go ahead.
no, go ahead, Jay. Let's hear it.
My thing is, man, they high power, they high flying. They can have some injuries that just happened the other night. They lost 3 receivers in that one game.
Mhm.
The other guys I didn't even know besides MVS.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Schuster. They lost
Hardman.
they lost Hartman. We don't know how those injuries gonna affect them right now. I mean, they get it 2 weeks, essentially 2 weeks, but we're gonna see how this play out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Me
Now,
myself personally, I see Pat Mahomes coming out on the field. As long as he coming out, I don't care who at where I see. Pat Mahomes gonna throw that ball. The guy's gonna catch. They're gonna move the
Better
offense.
believe
You can put me out there, man. I'm not saying I'm an excellent
Hey,
guy.
hey, don't guarantee you'll catch that ball either.
You got a point there.
Hey,
You
don't
got a
guarantee
point
you'll
there.
catch that ball.
man,
Yeah.
I think honestly, man, I've said it several times. They got Pacheco. He
Mm.
runs the ball
beast.
differently. He runs
Beast.
the ball differently,
He
and
does.
and I think that I think that, and like I said before, I said Andy Reid has a plan for him, and I think that we finally see what that plan is this week. Even though I'm a diehard Eagles fan, I am very concerned. I'm concerned about this matchup,
But
man.
man, like I seen it the other night. They got stagnant when all those people went down. They got real stagnant in the the third and fourth quarter, man.
They did.
They weren't really moving the ball like that.
Yeah, I
If
mean,
it weren't for the Bengals offensive line, they probably would have won. But they got stagnant in the third and fourth quarter when all those receivers went down. They had a couple big plays here and there. Then you had the dumb penalties as a taunting penalty that brought them back. That held the drive up. I mean, it all depends on how you look at it and how they're gonna play.
I think one of the biggest things here is Patrick has been here before, and he's here a lot. And you know, anything that you do, like even if we look at this podcast, we've been doing this for long enough to where we're getting confident with it, and it's not the same as when our first time in it. And I think that's going to be a big advantage for Pat Mahomes over Jalen Hurts for the offense. This is another game for Pat. Pat do this every year, man. He expect to be here every year.
All right. You say that, but do you remember when they played the Buccaneers in Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah, but you remember who had more
Tom
experience
Brady.
than Pat? Yeah, you remember how much experience Tom Brady had. I mean, you can't.
No, I wouldn't even give it to Tom. That defense of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers was getting after him the whole game, bro.
Yeah.
And that's what the Philadelphia Eagles do.
Yeah.
They get after the quarterback.
I see a lot of similarities.
Now,
I'm not going away from that. If they get him off the spot, he ain't gonna be able to move against these dudes. I promise you that, bro. Y'all got high flying linebackers and fast defensive ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna happen like that.
He don't. Here's the part though. He doesn't have to move. See, the part about Kansas City that makes them great is that man can throw the ball a rocket. He can throw a rocket without moving. He can throw the ball in places with arm angles and stances that you normally don't see, right? The only thing I agree with you. I believe that Hassan Reddick unstoppable, right? I feel like after that, if postseason counted, I feel like he's definitely the defensive MVP. How he not make it as a finalist, I don't get it. But you know, Hassan Reddick's been balling. The one thing that I think is going to make the biggest world of difference for this Chiefs defense is how big Kaiser White and TJ Edwards are going to play. Because the moment that they lose sight of being disciplined, Travis Kelce is going to eat them alive. That's what he does it every week to linebacker cores across the NFL. The moment that their eyes look for the magician, he pops out, he pops open, he gets upfield.
Hey, listen, I'm not even arguing that. We're going to get into that Eagles defense. I'm talking about just based off of that Kansas City offense, right? And I think Honest has a good point here. Both of the quarterbacks, and I was going to get into that when we get into that offensive breakdown. Both of the quarterbacks are hobbled right now. Hurts' shoulder has not been the same. I mean, they've been protecting him and doing just enough for him to get back. That 120-something yards you see him passing, that's not Jalen Hurts. And so you got that side of it. Then you got Pat Mahomes that is clearly in pain. And I don't know what they did before the game, but obviously whatever it was wearing off by halftime. It was wearing off because you start to see that limp. And depending on his health is going to depend on how dynamic that offense is going to be. But I'm going to tell you, he's more cerebral. I'm not going to say more. He's just as cerebral as he is gifted. I think that what separates from him, there's a lot of guys who can throw the ball. Maybe not as many can throw as well as Patrick Mahomes, but they can throw it well enough. Mm-hmm. But what he does is he makes decisions on the fly faster than anybody. He has an M1 processor. And a lot of guys aren't processing at the speed that he's processing. And so when you see a guy throw that jump pass, it's not that it's incredible that he can throw a jump pass. It's the fact that he even thought to move there, and then even with the speed of the pass rushers coming at him, he's knowing that he needs to jump off of this leg, throw it that way at the right depth, speed, and accuracy to get it there. And not everybody can do that. He's a unicorn in that regard.
Did you see the play he made yesterday where he threw that joint and then swiped his right leg backwards to avoid the DN from hitting his ankle?
Yeah, it's a
different preview.
It's almost like the Matrix. It's almost like the Matrix. I mean, he is dodging guys. He's doing. I mean, like I say, the game is definitely more cerebral for him than it is for most. Um, so yeah, that part. As far as the breakdown, um, what do you think about the Kels matchup with those Eagles linebackers, Sumlin?
I think Kelsey has the edge, um, just based on the size of Philly's linebackers. Right, they're not your 6'3", 6'4" linebackers. They're your 6 foot 6'1" linebackers. They can move. But I'm hoping that what Sirianni, well, not hoping because I don't care, but you know what I'm saying? I hope that what Sirianni is going to start preaching to them immediately is how discipline is going to be vital for them, right? The thing I feel like where Kansas City gets so strong is Patrick Mahomes outside the pocket. That's where he's strong. And if those linebackers begin to barrel downhill, it's going to be a long day. I truly see Kelsey having a 14 catch game. I don't know how many yards it'll be, but he'll get his hands on the ball plenty of times, especially with these injuries for these other receivers that we're not knowing what's going on.
Facts. How you feel about the Eagles stopping and run and the combination of Pacheco and I don't even is Clyde gonna play this week?
You know, IR still.
He's still all right. I didn't know if he was gonna be eligible to come back. So I mean with McKinney and Pacheco, what are you thinking about that? What you got, Jamie?
They not. I mean, we seen Christian McCaffrey do a little something, but that's what he does. They not Christian McCaffrey. Do you know how many yards they had last night rushing? 42 against the Bengals defense. Now, if my calculations are correct, the Bengals defense is not that great, but they held them to 42 yards.
Okay.
Did they hold him to 40 yards, or was Pat Mahomes just throwing that well where he still went over 300 with that ankle?
They held him to 42 yards.
I think.
I mean, for that, and another thing, a short pass for the Chiefs is like a handoff.
Yeah. I think that this game is going to also come down to coaching experience. You got Andy Reid versus Nick Sirianni. You got a chess player versus, you got a master chess player versus a guy we still trying to see how good he is as a chess player, right?
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think Andy Reid is going to play to the weaknesses of whatever he sees Sirianni is going to do. And I think that in the beginning of the game, it's going to tell us a lot. If Philly comes out and does what they've been doing for the last couple of weeks and scores early, I think they'll be okay. But I think what Ham said at the beginning was that experience, man, in that stage, in that moment, is going to be huge. Andy Reid been there 3 times in the last 5 years. He knows what it takes to get there. He knows how to coach in a game like that. He knows how to keep his players focused. So I don't think it's a thing of necessarily if Kansas City is going to show up. They're going to show up. They show up every time, even when you're on. I think most of us thought they were going to lose yesterday. Most of us thought they were going to lose to the Bengals yesterday, and they still found a way to win. And now we're giving that man 2 weeks to rest. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. When you say most of us, can you be specific?
Well, I know I was expecting the Bengals to win until they said Burrowhead.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, because when you say most of us, I know I said numerous times that the Chiefs are going to win. I said that several times. So let's just be more, detail oriented when we call it now.
If it don't fly, let it fly. All right.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Fly Eagles fly. Fly Eagles fly. Now, here goes. I'm gonna play advocate here. All right, you said that Pacheco is not Christian McCaffrey, right? Jared McKinnon is not Christian McCaffrey, but combined, because see, here goes the thing. I'm going to say that I think that Pacheco at this very moment in his life is more athletic than Christian McCaffrey.
No question, I agree.
And I'm gonna say that Jared McKinnon is doing just as well at catching the ball as Christian McCaffrey.
I agree with that.
Now, so
I
when
can't get it to you.
No,
you can't, well, tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. I want to know.
I mean, if you're gonna go off that, looking at the last game, No, sir.
No.
Okay.
Because even though a lot
It's
of
not
people,
just
a
the
lot of
last
people,
game though. He had
a lot of people
56
don't go off.
receptions this year.
Okay, we going game by game, right?
Okay.
We're going game by game. You play the opponent that you're gonna play the next week.
Mm-hmm.
Don't give me that, because he said one of the Eagles gonna have 22 carries. Ain't none of them have 22 carries.
Yeah.
Wasn't necessary.
Mm-mm.
Wasn't
Wasn't
necessary.
necessary. Wasn't
Wasn't
necessary.
necessary. Wasn't necessary.
Wasn't necessary. But still,
Mm-mm. I'm gonna
they
tell you
not
something
better than
funny.
Christian McCaffrey. Neither one of them
Not
together
enough
or
better.
come out. All right,
Yeah.
so don't give me that.
But
Just
Isaiah
go ahead.
Pacheco will be the fastest man on that field when Kansas City's offense is out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's deep. If he breaks, nobody's catching him.
Okay.
Yes, that's a big if against this defense.
Now,
We're kind of weak on the corner. Bradbury don't like to tackle.
okay.
I'm
So
just saying.
okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go here with this. All right. I'm gonna go here with this. All right. PFF grades. Since we respect those in this room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
What about you, Jamie? You respect them? Or I'm
don't
wasting
know.
your time here?
Yeah,
You
you're
don't
really
care.
wasting my time.
I'm
I
wasting
know.
your time.
Okay.
Because Isaiah Pacheco is at 76.3 with his running, and his receiving 76.3.
Mhm.
Same thing with Jarrett McKinnon. So you got two of those guys. They almost interchangeable. They're almost in their effectiveness.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I get what you're saying, but I want you to stop and think about this. Like the Eagles were able to shut him down. But I'm gonna tell you, it's different when you gotta shut two different guys down and run two different types of playing styles.
All right. I don't like to do this, but it's easy to shut a one dimensional team down. You know that, right?
Thank you. Thank
Oh,
you.
okay.
It's so
All right.
easy to shut a one dimensional team down. They can't pass. They're gonna run. You gonna rush everybody now because they got to get out of the backfield somehow, right?
Mm-hmm.
They
Okay.
can't hit you with the play action because the man can't throw.
Mm-hmm.
So it's easy to shut a one dimensional team down. If I'm wrong, Corey, tell me I'm wrong.
No, you definitely 100% right.
That's a correct statement.
I think what you talking about is not, they don't run the ball like that. So every
Exactly.
yard they get, it's unexpected. It's like
Mm-hmm.
they're expecting the pass and people are guarding the pass. So they giving you that. You getting it. Jared McKinney and Pacheco are getting that because teams are allowing them to get that. If any team go in there, they're like, okay, you want to run the ball? Try to beat us run the ball. Anything to keep Pat from throwing it. At the end of the day, that's not the same as comparing it to Christian McCaffrey when teams going in to shut down Christian McCaffrey. Ain't nobody lining up and got on their stat sheet for the week. Hey, man, we got to shut down Pacheco and Jared McKinney. And if we don't do that, oh, my God, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't know what we're going to do. No,
I think I'm
okay.
split. I think we split. Hamp, I think I understand what you're saying, though, Hamp, right? Because here's the thing with that, Corey. I completely agree with you. But the problem is, what happens if he breaks two 30-yard runs?
Thank you.
Now you got a problem on your hands.
It's just
Now
two
you gotta
30-yard
cut-
runs.
No, it's not just two 30-yard runs because you won't prepare to flip the field like that. Not when you won't expecting the running backs to do that, right?
And here goes something else. That the Kansas City receivers are terrible.
Trash.
They are terrible. And when you look at it, I'm looking at the rankings and I'm looking at their grades. And man, Juju Smith-Schuster, he is no more effective than McCole Hardman.
Nope.
And McCole Hardman is no more effective than Sky Moore. Like these guys are all 60 graded PFF players. I mean, to give you an equivalent to what that is, that's on the Eagles, that's Quez Watkins. Their best receiver is Quez Watkins out there. And so I mean, and then when you think about the Eagles, and we ain't got into the Eagles defense yet, when you think about the fact that you're going against Slay and Bradbury on the other side, Jamie, if you're saying that you're not excited about the running backs, then you're not excited about nothing, because them receivers ain't gonna do nothing.
I'm not excited for Kansas City anyway. I'm just not there for them right now because I know what they're up against.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Well,
Facts.
Well, Well, let's go into that. Let's go into that. I know you done broke down that defense. Let's go into that defense.
Well, Kansas City defense, they gotta be ready to stop the run. That's what they're gonna have to be ready to do.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not good against the run at all.
Not at all.
I can give you a one dimensional team that had over 100 some yards on them, and that's with the Tennessee Titans. And I witnessed that because our quarterback only threw for 60 yards and 8 passes, and the score was still 20-17 after the overtime game. So they're gonna get up for this because they've been there before. The only thing you got to worry about is Frank Clark and Chris Jones. Their secondary is a little suspect to me.
Okay, so all right, and so Frank said, okay, so Frank said they kind of weak on the corner. All right, so look, listen here, Jamie. Let's go specifically into that D line you're talking about. Let's break down the players. Let's break down the players they got here. Phil Hoskins, and I keep saying PFF ranks. For anybody that doesn't know that, that's Pro Football Focus. They give grades to everybody the same way when you sat in the classroom and got a grade, and they knew how well you was doing. That's what they're doing here. Starting off with Phil Hoskins, 28.4 PFF grade.
Lord,
that might be the lowest grade I've ever seen.
I could get that, and I ain't even playing.
Brandon Williams, 51.0.
Wow.
Tershawn Wharton, 55.2. Michael Dana, 70.1. Colleen Saunders, 60.7. Derek Nandi, 40.5. Shelton, 47.6. Chris Jones, 92.6. And Carlos Dunlap, who's, I don't know how, he's older than me, 67.1. I mean, like, that's a terrible D line.
Mm.
That is awful.
But the thing about them, they may be terrible, but they give you effort. They give you effort, and that's what, and they exploit the worst offensive lineman like they did the other day. They exploited that.
The Eagles don't have that though.
No, that's what I'm saying. You're making my point. That defense is not good.
Okay.
They have that defense they get a lot of love because the offense is so good. Yeah. That's why they don't get talked as bad about, is because the offense is that good.
They feed off the offense.
Yeah.
If they make a play, okay, here that's a play, but it ain't nothing exciting. Like, they may catch a pick here, a pick there, but it ain't nothing exciting about the Chiefs defense. Without Honey Badger, there's nothing exciting. Mm-hmm. Like, and half of these dudes that got hurt.
They lead the postseason in interceptions, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They do have the most interceptions as a secondary in the playoffs. So that can't be overlooked. Shout out Juan Thornhill from Virginia. He will hit you if he square up. He will hit you. Speaking of which, though, let's talk about that real quick. This game is loaded with talent from Virginia, man. Loaded with talent on both sides of the ball. There's players from Virginia on both sides of the ball. But Jay, I agree that D line, Philly don't have no weaknesses on their O line. None.
It was crazy.
Hey, put the messages up.
Hold on. What's crazy is it's a stat from yesterday. Did you know that Lane Johnson did not give up a sack against Joey Bosa? Nick Bosa.
Not a quarterback hit either. That is crazy.
And he's injured. That's crazy.
And they're gonna win the Super Bowl, man.
God, I mean,
hey, I want to say something about the PFF grades. I mean, that got to be taken with a grain of salt. I'm a believer in PFF, but at the same time, PFF cannot account for what a person's responsibilities is in assignment. They don't know. They just have to really play a lot of guesswork. At the end of the day, take it like this: PFF had my defense, the Vikings defense, ranked 4th. If you add up all the numbers, we was 4th. As PFF grades.
Whoever said
that. I mean, go up there. Look at overall grades. Overall defensive grades, we are 4th. Overall defensive grade, we're 4th.
I don't see it.
Look at overall
defensive stats never make sense.
Add up all our defensive grades, we are 4th.
How did the Vikings sneak their way into this conversation? We talking about the Super Bowl.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
talking about.
They
I'm talking about
always do.
PFA.
He's talking
You
about
got it.
PFL.
You have
Hey,
to talk about
hey,
like
hey, let's put Stokes' comment up here. Stokes' comment says that the game will be won on defense. The defense that shows up is the one that'll win.
Oh
All right, so
man,
that
Philly win the Super Bowl there.
okay. So
Yeah.
now that we winning that, Corey, what you want to tell me about that Eagles defense?
all right, all right, all right. The Eagles defense. Hold on, let me pull my stuff back up because I was looking at that. All right. The Philadelphia Eagles defense are eighth in points allowed, third in yards, first in sacks, first in passing yards allowed, and 16 in rushing yards allowed. They are very, very multiple in their fronts, and they run various packages. Jonathan Gannon runs Vic Fangio's defensive scheme. You can find them running 4-3 over fronts. What an over front is, they line the Sam linebacker, if I'm not mistaken, over top of the tight end. That's why it's called an over, 4-3 over. It looks a lot like 5-2. That's why it kills me yesterday when people kept saying, why are they trying to block Hassan Reddick with a tight end? That
Got no
is
choice.
scheme like that. It's scheme like that. You
Choice.
got to
Yeah.
pick your poison. At the end of the day, you either gonna have that or you're gonna have Sweat out there one on one. And at the end of the day, the Eagles are basically saying, we're going to play you this way. And until you stop us, that's what we're going to run. But what's so strong about them, they have the ability to run different packages. They can run just about everything. They can run 3-4. They can run so many different things because the strength of the Eagles are their personnel. They're very, very deep at every single position. They can run it and show you all different kinds of things. But
They deep on the D line.
And so
you
so
want to D line, but
Yeah.
that what gives you the
Can,
ability to run different fronts.
hey, can I break this down? Can I break this down for someone who may not understand what you're talking about, Corey? All right, so I want you guys to think about this when you're watching the game. The three guys that are on the line right now in the Eagles' base defense, they have from as you're looking at it, if you're Pat Mahomes, you're looking over on your left side, which would be your right defensive end. You got Hargrave, then you have Joseph at nose tackle, and then you got Cox right there. So when they talk about Reddick being on a tight end, the fact of the matter is there ain't no other choice because
Yeah,
we're running those three right there. It's almost like a 3-4 defense,
yeah,
and then you
yeah,
got Sweat, which is really a defensive end. He's
yeah,
playing off the side as an outside linebacker, and on the
exactly.
opposite side you got Reddick. So they sending five at you in their base every time. It's
Yeah.
five at your base every time, and you got five offensive linemen, and you can't go 1-on-1 with Sweat, and you can't go 1-on-1 with Reddick over there. So that's the reason why they're generating more sacks than anybody by a lot.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Now
Correct.
at the linebackers, they usually the two linebackers that they're running is going to be Edwards and White, and Edwards, believe it or not, has an 81.1 PFF grade. The boy is solid.
Great
He's
season this year.
he's actually the third best player on the defense, beside Reddick and Sweat. I mean, who would have thought?
Do
And
do they blitz a lot?
say
That
what?
was the one. I was gonna ask Corey. Do they
No,
blitz a lot? They
No, they
don't.
don't.
Okay.
They
So
don't.
they getting
He
home with.
ain't got a blitz will get home with
They-
4 or
yeah,
Yeah, I was
5.
gonna say they get
yeah,
yeah,
70 sacks without blitzing is
nah, they
crazy.
don't blitz.
That's
They don't blitz.
bananas.
The Fangio
Yeah.
scheme doesn't blitz that much.
Mm.
Tell you the truth.
mm,
But if I want to say, like you said, their strength, I'm saying in personnel, but their personnel is in their defensive line, and they can
Absolutely.
present multiple three techs. They have multiple three techs that they can put down
You
there.
got
That really,
you got
man, oh
Sue,
my God,
you got
bro.
Joseph.
They
Jordan
just,
Davis.
bro. And
You,
they not
them,
only can they stop the run, but they can get after the pass too. Like these guys are elite at what they do. And what
yeah.
that helps you with is because they take up so much space. What I mean by that, they command a double team. So when they command a double team, that open up space for these linebackers to get downhill and get after the run. They can really, really, really get after the run. If I had to say any weakness in the scheme would be it places a lot of responsibility on the safeties. The safeties really
Absolutely.
have to be run sound. They have to understand their responsibility in the run because at the end of the day, if somebody leaks through, it's usually one-on-one with a linebacker, and the safeties are the last threat line of defense. But like we was talking about, this is my problem with this matchup. If you are going to attack the Eagles, like I said, they are number one in passing yards. Teams, they lock down your pass because they get a lot of sacks. And the way a defense operates, if you don't know, okay, you have pass coverage and you have people to get after the quarterback. If your pass coverage is weak, you got to get there a lot faster. If you can't get there fast, your pass coverage got to hold up. But they are sound at both areas. The problem is one of them can make up when the other one lacks all the time. So I really, really only see the way to attack their defense is to run the ball. But the Chiefs are not good
Philly's
at it.
defense?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the only
that's
way
gonna
to
be
attack
hard.
That-
Yeah, so,
That's
so
gonna be
that was
hard,
and
man.
that was the part I was gonna get into. Can we put Matt's comment on? I was gonna get into that. The Kansas City Chiefs, in my opinion, if I'm Andy Reid and I'm looking at the team, I have to find a way to get them out of the base.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way you get them out of the base, and again, to put this in layman's terms, what the Eagles run, they run simply base and nickel. You never see them run anything other than base and nickel.
Yeah.
Now, what that base does, well, I mean, switching to the nickel, what it does is it takes one of those interior defensive linemen out, and it puts a corner there.
Yeah.
And so now what you have is you got 4 guys on the front, which seems less dangerous than 5 guys. But you got Sweat on one side, on the right, at the right defensive end. You got Hargraves, you got Cox, and then you got Reddick over there. So now you're facing a 4-man rush, unless we decide to come out and blitz. And then when we blitz, that means the safety has to pick up Kels. And our safeties aren't big enough to pick up Kels. So again, I think that's going to be probably what Andy Reid is playing with right now. And let's put Stokes' comment up there. So who's going to block Jones? Okay, I'm gonna answer that
Anybody.
for you, Stokes. Once we get into the offense, I'm gonna tell you who's going to block number 95. As soon as we done with this defense, I'm gonna get into the offense and tell you. You done with it, Corey?
Now I
Hold
do
on.
have one more thing to point out, but you can go some.
Yeah, so I was looking up some stats. I found something that's interesting though, man. I didn't know the Chiefs had the second highest sack total this year. 1 and 2. Philly and the Chiefs are 1 and 2. And also the Chiefs have given up the 3rd fewest sacks in the NFL this year. Another interesting piece. Which one of them breaks down first? I honestly think that it's Kansas City's O-line versus Philly's D-line because, like, bro, can you imagine having to go up against Fletcher Cox, you heavy breathing, and then Ndamukong Suh come trolling in there, bro? You know, and to me, as a football fan, first you gotta love. It's evident what somebody like Suh brings to that defense: heart, passion, attitude. Them boys flying, man.
Can you put that comment that just came up there up?
Avonte Maddox is one of the best slot corners in the NFL. You talking from that one?
Yeah, Frank is a diehard Eagles fan, and you know sometimes
When you know, you know.
ridiculous.
I mean, Frank, when you know, you know. See, the rest of the world don't know.
No.
But when you know, you know. And yes, Avonte Maddox is that guy in the middle. He is that guy on the interior of our cornerbacks. He don't have the size to play on the outside. Anytime we got to push him outside, he get beat on. But as a slot, he one of the best in the league. One of the best
He
in
will
the
be
league.
burnt up if he has to cover Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce will be the MVP of the Super Bowl if Avonte Maddox covers him in the Super Bowl.
And listen, man, that's anybody that covers Kels. I mean, like, so you ain't saying nothing slick to a can of oil here. Like, anybody that picks up Kels is going to be taking advantage of.
He is not him for this matchup. You know,
But I'm gonna tell
kudos to the guy though. Kudos to him. He played a good season.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I mean, like, was Kels going to go for what, 120, 130? I give him 130 to a tight end all day if you can shut everything else up.
Yeah.
Now that tight end gonna score 2 touchdowns and have 130, you wouldn't want to do that. It's gonna be a long damn night.
It's going to be a long night. But getting into, I mean, you got any more with that defense?
I got, like I was saying, I got one more thing. I do agree with you with the tight end, Kelce being a problem, but at the end of the day, is he gonna have to stay down and block these guys? Because if they coming off that line, he's gonna have to chip.
You know what's gonna happen? The ball gonna come out fast.
Yeah.
You got a point.
Shovel passes, jet sweeps.
And Jared McKinnon will be back there.
The man threw an underhand pass the other day. I'm like, yo, Who does this but him? An underhand pass. Like right up the middle of the field.
They do that. That's what they do. That's what they do,
Like,
man.
bro.
They creative. They're
No,
creative.
it ain't they. It's him. It's Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there ain't nobody else doing that.
That boy is a magic man.
He threw a softball pass in the middle of a game.
So, all right, I'm excited. This man, I can't help it. I'm just excited. I am excited. Now, before we get into these Eagles weapons, I'm gonna get into the best unit in the league, and that's that offensive line unit. So to answer your question, Stokes, who is gonna guard him? Kels is the second best center in the league. To his right, he has the ninth best guard, which is Simonala. To his left, he has Dickerson, who is the 16th best guard, the 10th best left tackle, and the 5th best right tackle. Right there. So the question comes down to this number one rated offensive line unit. Of course, he's gonna win maybe once or twice, and it's usually in the fourth quarter. I mean, Chris comes up big. Chris Jones comes up big in the fourth quarter every single game. He comes up big, but for the most part, he's not gonna have his way, man. He is not gonna have his way with this unit. This unit gets after it. Now, when we talk about the tight ends, Goddard, fourth best tight end in the league. I would argue. I mean, let Corey tell it. Hurts is probably third, right? But he's six. He's six. Okay, fourth best tight end in the league. There's and I'm gonna tell you, if you really wanna to really break down people's games, Goddard is a young Kels. Goddard is a young Kels, man. And if you don't believe it, check the stats. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. When the guy's healthy, he's out there, and he doesn't have to be the number one option. If he was the number one option, his numbers would be just as gaudy. And then when you talk on that, yeah, what you got?
I need you to explain how you make that. I'm. Please tell me how you put him in the same latitude as a potentially Travis Kelce.
No, what I'm saying is as Kelce, if you compare them at where they were at this points in their careers, Kelce didn't turn into this until pretty much Pat Mahomes got here. Their numbers were eerily similar to what they are right now. So if you talk about what they are, if you can compare them, you can put them side by side. I mean, if I had control of the screen, I'd put it up for you. If you put them side by side, their stats are the same going into it.
But Dallas Goedert's almost 29. He's not young.
That's what I'm saying. But look at his stats this year.
Yeah,
and Goddard's not
almost
29. And Goddard's not almost 29.
He's 28 years old. He'll be 29 before the next season starts.
Yeah.
He'll be 29 soon. He had 3 touchdowns. All season.
3 touchdowns. Look at this.
5 catches.
Come on, man. Stop this. Stop this.
No,
I'm about to pull
ridiculous.
this. I'm not getting that. Pull his numbers up. Pull his numbers up.
For his career, he has 248 catches for 2,900 yards and 19 touchdowns.
Count the games.
It's an old man.
That's an old man.
That's not an old man. Count the games.
Kelce, bro.
Count the games.
Are you trying to compare this man to one of the greatest?
He did that.
Listen. I'm not gonna fall into say that he's a Hall of Famer. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that he's a Hall of Famer.
I mean, you just compared him to one.
No, listen, man.
Future one.
No, this is what you can do. This is what you can do with any quarterback, because history is the best predictor of future, right?
If you look at it, who's 1-2 then? How about that?
Okay, that's what you want to go with. I'm not about to stop what I'm doing here with this on my Eagles right here. If you look at their numbers and put them side by side, you'll see that they are eerily similar. Before he got Pat Mahomes. This year is like the year in which he got Pat Mahomes. Those numbers are the exact same. Now, going back to the Eagles' offensive line, before I was rudely interrupted here. These guys here. Get that back up here.
This is so biased.
Why is it so,
man?
What you mean so? But I feel the hate in here, man.
Bro, you just compared that average tight end to Travis Kelce.
In 5 years, in this one season, Travis Kelce has half the yards that Goddard has in his entire career. This season. and you got the nerve to open up your mouth with that bite, bro. You were doing so good, man.
Hey, look here,
Take it back, bro. Before you
I'm not going to take it back.
bro.
And look here, and let's talk about usage rate, because we talk about usage rate all the time. Now, tell me who he is competing with for receptions out there in that offense.
That don't matter. We talking about what you said.
Tell me who he's competing with. And then listen, and then be honest and look at what the Eagles have and what he's competing with over there. It ain't the same. We talking about something totally different. The usage rate is different. And that's why the grades reflect what they reflect. But moving on, when we talk about on the outside, you got A.J. Brown, the 6th best receiver in the NFL. Nobody on Kansas City can guard him. You go over there to Devontae, he's the 16th best receiver in the NFL. Nobody can guard him. Now, we have Quez Watkins slated as a starter.
Shit, 6. Hold on, did you say 6? I'm about to break this.
I said 16th. The 6th best receiver and the 16th best receiver.
AJ is the 6th best receiver. Let me go ahead and mark this down.
The 16th best is Devontae, and nobody can guard him either. Oh my God, man!
Oh my God. Let me see.
I'm talking about anybody left in the playoffs right now. I'm not talking about in real life. Anybody left in the playoffs right now. We're talking about Kansas City.
Okay.
We're talking about Kansas City here.
Okay.
So there's nobody on that Kansas City roster that can guard either one of those guys. And then back to Quez Watkins. We have him as our deep threat, but everybody who's an Eagle fan knows that you're going to see Pascal there because he runs blocks better and he's just reliable. He's reliable. That offense, and then when you go into the running backs, Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, there's not a drop-off on any of those guys. They just do different things, and they do different things better than the other one. But it's all the same. And when you said that you were trying to say with Kansas City, they can't have multiple running backs and do multiple things, I watch it every single week with Philadelphia Eagles. We don't have a stud running back.
Ain't nobody hating. Let me tell you something. These dudes, the other day, I'm sorry to tell you, but if they was the 6th best and the 16th best and can't nobody guard them, they wouldn't have had 36 yards and 28 yards respectfully.
Preach.
Jamie, are you chasing stats or wins? Are you chasing stats or wins?
You brought up PFF.
No. You brought the stats because the stat you pulled out was 6th best and 16th best. That ain't a stat. I don't know what it is.
Jamie. Whenever you take
get
a
him,
test,
James.
That's the
Get
grade.
him, Jay.
That's the grade.
Get him, Jay.
I didn't make the grades. The guys earned the grades. The guys earned the grades.
I didn't make the yards they made either, did I? They made them. Right?
How dare you sit here and say these guys aren't effective because they didn't have games in which they didn't need to pass the ball. We beat in a row. And we dominated 2 weeks in a row.
Bro, your quarterback had less than 175 yards for 2 straight games. Okay, let's
somebody call out what was the score last game? 31-7.
Y'all beat the break, bro. Is it your defense or your offense?
What did you want him to do? You want us to run the points up.
I'm just saying, bro.
You want a full court press.
First, you got Travis Kelce Jr. Now you got the 6th and the 16th best receiver. You got a 3-head monster in Hall of Fames at running back. It just sounds like this game ain't gonna be close.
Hey,
what you got, Corey?
Because all right, so you got Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill.
Did Cooper Kupp play?
Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams. Oh, I can keep going. Jamar Chase. Tell me who is he better than on that list? Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, and Jamar Chase. Who is he better?
Did Cooper Kupp play this year?
I give you another. I give you Higgins. I think Higgins better.
You think Higgins better? I said, Corey, I'm not doing this with you, man. I am not doing this with you.
DK Metcalf.
I'm not. No.
DK Metcalf.
No. Corey, listen, man. You're trying to incite something here, and what you're saying is completely foolish. Listen. Hey, listen.
He's just guessing at this point.
He not guessing. He's throwing out names.
That's
but
it's
just.
Is he better than those?
You got to give AJ his props, man. I'm
not saying
hate every single week. Hate
top 6. Come
Top
on,
6
man.
is questionable.
I
Now he's
gave
looking
you
at
I gave you
PFF.
6 legitimate people that he's not in that bracket. He's
Yeah,
not near Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, or Jamar Chase. Ain't a team in the league that's going to trade them for a doggone AJ Brown.
What about Stephon Diggs? Don't forget Stephon Diggs.
That's what I said. Stephon Diggs. That's
This
6.
is why Eagles fans are the new Cowboys fans.
There's
See,
no
y'all
way,
do what
cuz.
we- y'all-
You capping
bro,
here,
yeah.
bro.
Yeah, no. AJ nice, but top 6 is a little outrageous.
Sumbler, I
That's
want
what
you.
I read.
I want you to listen to my words very closely. Okay, you ready for this? All right.
I'm ready.
People who this is all they do for a living. They have the grades out here, and I'm reading the grades. This is not a personal thing that I'm saying here. I am looking directly at it the same way you can open your screen up and look directly at it and see that this is where he is ranked at.
You need to bring
Out of
up this-
116 receivers, he is number 6. Now, what you're talking about, Corey, we can argue this upside down. We can sit here and say Adam Thielen is better, this, and the third. Pull his grades up, man. Pull his paperwork up. Pull his paperwork up, man.
I did not say Adam Thielen. bro.
No,
I
he's
named
say
6
Thielen.
legitimate receivers. Name the one that he better than. Is he
Hey,
better
listen.
than Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, Devontae Adams, or Jamar Chase? That's 6 people that nobody's going to say that he's better
Hey,
than.
okay. All right.
He
How many
started an
games?
argument with Quez Watkins though, so that was what. Because you remember you tried to sell him to me in Dynasty like he was about to be the next best thing, and I'm glad. I didn't do that.
But listen here, man. If you take Cooper Kupp out of that list, because Cooper Kupp didn't play this year, okay?
Uh-huh.
What number does that make AJ Brown?
6.
All right, I rest my case. We done got hooked up with
I don't
Fonz.
think he's 6. I'm just
We done
giving
got
you-
we done got hooked
You
up
asked
with
for a
So
Fonz.
fact.
you
on the
removing
podcast,
players
I'm
from the
gonna-
list.
No, because when you asked the question, because Cooper Kupp didn't play this season.
He's still
He's
better.
still there. He's still
Hold on. Name them people you said again, Corey.
Justin Jefferson,
Uh
Cooper Kupp,
huh.
Tyreek Hill,
Uh huh.
Stephon Diggs,
Mhm.
Devontae Adams, Jamar Chase.
Keenan Allen.
No,
All right.
stop it.
So I mean, D Hop only played. D Hop missed 6 games, but he not better. He better than D
No,
Hop.
I'm not going on. I think he's top 10. I do not think AJ is nowhere near top 5 or 6. I can name you legitimately at least 8 people that's ahead of this man.
Hey,
Clearly.
please post Matt's comment. Please post Matt's. That is greatness in a nutshell right there.
Okay.
I love
Hey,
it.
listen, man. That's not what I'm implying here, Matthew. I am not implying that you don't have to play the game. I'm not implying that. But you know
You just
what?
said nobody can guard them on the Chiefs.
That's
Nobody.
what you
That's what you're
said.
implying.
Nobody.
That's
These
basically
guys
what
is
you're saying.
unstoppable.
That boy Devontae is
They
160 soaking wet.
Calvin
Crown 'em.
Johnson out there. They Calvin Johnson and Jerry Rice. I mean, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm the wrong one. I mean, I'm at a disadvantage here because like a lot of Eagles in the chat and
It is. You see what's going on right now. Collusion.
Yeah.
Collusion. This is how the 6 happened.
This is ridiculous,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
This
And,
is
I got a question for you guys. If these guys aren't as good as you say they are,
nobody
Oh,
didn't.
my
Nobody didn't
God.
say they weren't good
okay,
Nobody
Man,
said they
as
weren't
as
good.
You think they are?
because when it was on the other side of the fence, everybody gave me hell about that. No, he's not. He's not. But then when he get on another team, oh yes he is. Yes he is. Come on, bro. Stop being biased. Make your predicament the right damn way.
okay. Listen, before we got AJ Brown, this time of year I was doing what you was doing, sitting around hating.
I'm
And then
not
the Eagles
hating. I'm not
made a
hating.
trade. The Eagles made a
I'm not
trade for
hating.
AJ Brown, and now
I'm
we're
not
playing in
hating.
the Super Bowl. So
I'm not
you can
hating.
say what you want to say. The guy has raised that tide, has raised all
That's
ships
a
over
team
here.
accomplishment. That's a
It's a
team
team-
accomplishment.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
You can't
Yeah.
say just because he made it to the Super Bowl.
I ain't saying
top
just.
six.
I ain't saying that. I'm saying out of the major acquisitions.
If y'all had Devontae Adams, would y'all be better?
No.
You take AJ Brown out and you put in Devontae Adams, would y'all be better?
No.
This dude is capping, bro.
No.
Bro, see,
Hey,
this is where we
nah.
disagree, bro.
Hey.
See, I knew something was up with you when you said that Dallas Goedert thing, and you just been going ever since. You just been going ever since you said that. The
Can
Eagles
we-
fans
can we-
didn't have your back when you said
Hey,
that.
bro,
But now,
Can we go
Hey,
to the
listen.
Chiefs offense? I'm tired of this. Can we go to the
no,
Chiefs
we already
offense?
talked about the Chiefs offense. Let's
Hey,
let him
listen.
finish.
No,
'cause
we
we
talking
can't
about
take
it.
it off.
No, man.
Yeah,
He
we
said
do
talk about
that.
it.
We
And
do
listen,
like that.
listen. I'm not saying that AJ is better than Devontae right now. I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying that the way this organization is ran and how we run that offense and his physicality, he is a better fit for the offense that we run. And yes, he is a big physical receiver. He is a more healthy Deebo Samuel. Like he brings a toughness to our team that we needed, and that's what we got. Now, being that we done covered everything, everything Eagle related. Let's hear about what you guys think about. How do you think the game matches up? Jamie, you first.
At this point, I don't even really care because it's just so biased right now, bro.
Like, I'm asking your opinion, man. I'm asking your opinion.
You can't get back on course, Cameron.
No, you can't, bro.
Somebody do the benediction, man. You wrap it up, man. This
man, not be on my pivot, man.
Stephen A. Smith, boy, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Hey, listen. If you ain't got an opinion on it, I'll give you an opinion if you need to. You can take it and you can put it in your pocket. You can take it to work with you. You can talk about it at the water cooler. You need an opinion, I'll give it to you.
I got one.
All right, what you got? What you got, Ryan? What's your opinion, man?
On paper, this game should not be close for Philadelphia. On paper. Primarily because of the defense. Not the Hall of Fame offense. But because of the defense,
the all-world Hall of Fame offense,
the
best players
Hall of
on the planet,
Globetrotters of the NFL. It should not be
the greatest show on the desert. That's what they are. But go ahead, what you got?
This should not. Philly should win this game based on with their defense, right? Philly should win this game with their defense. Now, do they? I think it's all up to. It's all up to your coach. I think it comes down to your coaches. I really do. I think it comes down to your offensive coordinator. I think it comes down to your DC. And I honestly think that if you're not careful, Sky Moore could rock one to the house on you. So you got to be complete in all three phases of this game. Right? You disagree with that? Because Sky Moore is part of the reason why Kansas City is playing in the Super Bowl. So without that big return on top of that penalty, might not be having the same discussion. So I think Philly wins. I do. Honestly, I think Philly gets it done. I just think that the margin for error is very small.
What you got, Corey?
I'm going to say it like this. I think a lot of this depends on Pat Mahomes' health. It is 2 weeks, but I do not like that ankle. And, I mean, at the end of the day, they might be playing in the desert, but it's a Serengeti out there, man. These boys coming to eat. And I'm trying to tell you, the weak and the elderly get eaten first. If that man ain't standing on that ankle right, I'm trying to tell you, Hassan Reddick and this boy Sweat is going to get after him. And they're going to test that ankle. Yeah. They're going to test that ankle. This is not the Bengals. If they tap that junk up and he come out there hobbling, this thing could be over with real quick, man. That Eagles defense is nothing to play with. They got to worry about that. You can say all that thing about Travis Kelce, but I don't think you can block them with 5, man. Them boys generate pressure on every single snap.
They try to bring elbows.
Pressure. I ain't get to that. That last game, they generated pressure on every snap. Look at the statistics. Every single play they played the 49ers, they generated pressure. That is ridiculous, bro. They pressure the quarterback every time they snap the ball.
Okay, so first thing is, we didn't get a round of applause for Frank, man. I haven't been seeing Frank, but welcome to the party, Frank. Keep rocking with us. Can we get a round of applause?
Yeah. Y'all will be good friends, both of y'all, man. I swear I might have to.
That's my guy.
Get my one.
Frank, my guy. The second thing is, I want to go ahead and say, AD says KC by 3. End of the story. That's a short story.
He said, "Write it down."
Write it down. He said, "Write it down."
Write it down.
Write it down. Hey, that's what the Wednesday episode is gonna be. Man, the only thing I'm gonna say right now is back to what Stokes had said. Can we put Stokes' comment up here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Let's see, right here. This one.
Yeah. Hap, you are making it sound like it is going to be a cakewalk. Nah, man, I don't think it's gonna be.
Yeah. You thought it. You definitely think it do.
No. Come on, man. Don't put this on my
wide receiver, man.
That's not what. That's not what.
Best wide receiver in the 16.
And listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's gonna be a cakewalk. I'm gonna say it's gonna be pie, and I'm gonna have pie all over my hands, baby.
Pat is pie. Is it a patty pie?
It's gonna be pie, man. I'm gonna give out pie to my friends, and I'm gonna have pie all over my hands. I think this game this is pie. This
I'm
is
picking the
pie.
Eagles. I think
Yeah,
the Eagles.
Eagles up, man. Eagles flying high, man.
Yeah.
Before we get in here in closing, because we're getting close to that time frame.
Mess around here 04 in here, then you can be mad.
Oh, ain't no old fours, man. Ain't no old fours. Ain't no old fours.
Underdog story.
Mm-hmm. I heard you, man. I heard you. What you got, man? In closing arguments, because we got about 4 minutes before we gotta get out of here. What you got? It's on you, Jamie.
This is a hard day today. I love you guys. Just want to say that. Hemp, you boy, you tested me today. You tested me. It feel like we just sitting outside talking this junk.
All love, man. It's all love, man.
But boy, I'm still gonna go with Philly, even though this bias stuff that happened today. But I mean, because I just feel like the defense is gonna take over this game, man. Whoever got the best defense is gonna win this game.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna leave it at that for right now.
All right, you got anything, something?
Hey man, listen, Jamie, I agree with you. Let me tell you, I'm upset right now. All right. And we got 2 weeks to the Super Bowl, so I can change my pick at any point. And if he continues down this road, I'm not going with Philly. I don't care what happens. All right.
Hey man, I'm used to it, man.
What you did tonight, when I looked at you, I saw a mix of Charleston White and Kevin Samuels all in one. And if we were face to face, this would have been a full blown argument. So
it would have been.
Let me tell you something, man. I am disappointed in you tonight.
That's right, man. I understand that, man, but hey, love conquers all. Hey, what you got, Corey? What you got, Corey?
Yeah, nothing. I'm gonna leave it to you. Peace and love, man. I think it's gonna be a dynamic game. I'm definitely excited about watching this game next Sunday, but we're gonna dive into it. We'll find some more content for y'all people to enjoy.
All right. You know, I'm gonna say thank you. Like I'm always, we are humbled by the support that we get from you guys. I want you to know that we're not gonna be on tomorrow. Tomorrow is when we prepare for our shows for the week and all that good stuff. But we will be on Wednesday, 9:30 sharp. If you have any suggestions or you want to get in contact with us, you all know us anyway. But put stuff in the comments if you need it. I love each and every last one of y'all. Remember, love yours because it's yours. And if you don't love it, want nobody else. Hey, we out.